listening to this podcast, the Alex Holmes Show. I'll be your host, Alex Holmes, right here on Fabulous Monday. Y'all had a good weekend. Y'all have a good time. Rolling with some head every day we see the attacks on the every day. All the people involved. That's including all these foreign countries that foundation, massive amounts everybody has lives. They both it's so wild. I refer to them as a gang because that's pretty much what they are, folks. They pose as liberal Democrats. They're socialist, Marxist, communist even. They really are. Not Mr. Bernie Sanders. Mr. Bernie Sanders took a little money from the Clinton campaign. I know he did, because anybody who's anybody that had an election stolen from them in Fairview, right, might as well have been in public, robbed without a gun. They took a little money somehow, and as we found out, he shortly later bought a new vacation home on some lake. Must be nice, to just go out and buy a vacation home anytime you feel froggy, folks. But what I want to know is, what's up with this trip to the Middle East? Okay. Now, I've really been thinking about this since our last show, and I know that my opinion of Mr. Trump's trip to the Middle East wasn't very highly, but folks, the rest of our leaders in the other parts of our government are dividing this country more and more every day. They're brainwashing their minions, our public. These people that walk around calling themselves liberal, I'm liberal, just to be cool and go along with the crowd, or what, for whatever reason they consider themselves liberal. Folks, I'm more liberal than they are. They don't know the meaning of the word liberals. Okay? I think I may have given this definition on another episode. I don't know. I can't remember for sure. I know the thought has crossed my mind, so just in case I didn't, I'm going to go ahead and give it to y'all again. Okay. The definition of the word liberal, according to Google.com, the word is an adjective. The first definition is open to new behavior or opinions and willing to discard traditional values. That fits them pretty good, actually, believe it or not. But of education, which is in parentheses, concerned mainly with broadening a person's general knowledge and experience rather than with technical or professional training. Synonyms are wide-ranging, broad-based, general. An example of liberal is a liberal education, which is quotation marks. It's also a noun according to this. There's one definition for that, and it is a person of liberal views. But see, folks, that could mean a lot of things when you think about it, and they might as well just come out of the closet and say, hey, I'm a socialist, and just like me or love me or hate me or whatever. That's what WTF I am, folks. That's what they should do. If they were honest in any way, just like Shakespeare said, to thy own self be true. They're lying to themselves, and they're lying to everybody. Their voters, they're lying to everybody, folks. But I take that back. They're probably not lying to themselves, because they know what they are deep down. They know what they support. And I'll tell you something else about Trump. You know a man by his enemies. Remember that, folks. That is a famous quote. I can't remember right off who said it. Maybe in one of the Godfather movies. I can't remember. I never really watched a lot of those movies, but that quote, that slogan is very true. Now, as far as the progression of the show, as far as viewers, I guess we're doing okay, but no, I'll be honest, we could really do a lot better. We've been averaging right here the last couple of days probably 45 views a day, if we're lucky. We have seen as many as, I think, 29 views in one day on Spreaker. As far as YouTube goes now, we could really use some traffic over there. I've been working on some different things for the show. Part of last night and almost all morning today, and some of this evening. Actually, I've been trying to get ready for this show, and to tell you the truth, I still don't think I'm ready. But you have to do what you have to do, and you can't keep everybody waiting. So I'm going to go ahead with it, I guess, and just give her all I got. But anyways, so Trump's over here showing the American public where his true foreign interest and the U.S.'s true foreign interest really lie instead of Russia. He went to Saudi Arabia first, which I would think is because that's like the Muslim capital of the world, is why he wanted to go there first. I think traditionally presidents generally visit Israel first, but Trump made it a point to go to the Muslim capital of the world first after such a hard-fought campaign and talking so bad about the Muslims. Not the Muslims. Take that back. I'm saying like everybody else right now. It's the radical Muslims that he and his voters are worried about, folks. I tend to exaggerate a little sometimes. Y'all have to forgive me. In no way am I prejudiced or anything like that. Whether I agree with you or not, I'll still tolerate you as long as you're not hurting me in any way. I mean, that's the main thing. But anyways, so Trump's over there in the Middle East, taking care of what somebody wants him to take care of. Now, I've heard that Jared Kushner, the big 666 Fifth Avenue daddy, was the one that set up the Saudi Arabian arms deal. I do not know this for a fact. I haven't saw it in writing. That don't even make a difference though. Even though you see it in writing, that still don't mean a thing. Especially this day and time. I mean, come on. I'm gonna take my medicine there. A little ibuprofen to help the aches and pains. But yeah, I kicked the habit, folks. By the way, I'm no longer a wild man. Just so you know. At one time, though, I was probably the wildest person that anybody ever looked at. But I digress. That's another day. There's way more important stuff going on. Yeah, Donald Trump's over there in the Middle East taking care of, I would think, the deep state. Their true interests lie with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and with Israel. That is their two strongest allies from that part of the world, and it's been that way for the last 75, 80 years, I guess, folks. My puppy's in there taking a spell over something. Hold on just a sec. I'm back, folks. Sorry for the disruption. But yeah, I know, you just have to let them do whatever they want to. I don't know when this article was written. I'm trying to find a date. It was written on May the 10th, 2017 by Ben Kew, I guess, Kew. It's an article from Breitbart News. Republicans attack Trump over Comey firing. Hold on just a minute. people can't. I gotta fuck you up. Following Donald Trump's decision to sack FBI Director James Comey, a number of never-Trump Republicans have joined Democrats in criticizing the decision, suggesting it could be part of a wider conspiracy of collusion between Trump's campaign and Russian agents. Thus far, no substantial evidence has been found of any ties between Russian agents and Donald Trump's campaign team. This is nothing new, folks. We all know this. They've been hollering this ever since that Hillary began to suspect that she was going to lose the election, I believe. And I'm sure if you look back, you would the same. It's no secret that she knew that Donald Trump was going to be a hard, tough competitor, but everybody seemed to underestimate him, or that was a big Act 1, I don't know. But y'all saw what happened with all the Republicans that challenged him during the primaries of the election, and then y'all saw what happened to Hillary on election night. She actually canceled her fireworks celebration the very morning at around like 8 or 9 o'clock on the eastern coast, wherever it was at in New York, probably. It's where she was going to have a fireworks celebration. But yeah, she canceled it that morning. So what does that tell you? I did hear that she stole several states and still lost the election. I don't know if that's true or not, but one thing I do know is true, that she spent billions of dollars, and Trump spent about, I don't know, 200 and some million, and she still lost the election. That is a big crock. But back to this article. Nevertheless, Democrats, including Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi, and former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, suggested the decision was made as part of a wider cover-up, despite having questioned Comey's leadership only a few months ago. Yup, they were everyone doing it. They were everyone wanting rid of Comey just weeks, maybe 2 months prior to this. And the very second that Donald Trump does what they all wanted, they immediately turn against him. I mean, what does that tell you? They want it both ways. They're not happy either way you slice it. They just like to complain. They've done nothing but make excuses. Ever since about halfway through the election, that's all they've done is make excuses. They should have had the debates handed to them, thanks to CNN and was it Debbie Wasserman Schultz? I can't remember the lady's name exactly, that that got the questions from CNN before the debates. I forget her name. The one that retired. Trying to find her name right now. That's bugging me. If we had any viewers out there, they might could tell me, but whatever. I will broadcast anyway. Somebody's going to listen to this sooner or later, I would hope, I would think. We are in the middle of a major civil war here, and it's fixing to get violent. A lot more violent than on foreign ground, or on U.S. ground, probably since the first Civil War. I'm not even joking about that. There's a picture of her, but I don't see her name. Donna Brazile. That's her name. The one that didn't like it because journalists didn't believe her lies. That was a couple of the most funniest interviews that I've ever saw on the news. Matter of fact, this just in, folks. This is breaking news to me anyway. Headline up on Drudge: 20 plus dead at Grande Gig nail bomb blast. I will get to that article in just a second. I want to finish this one up. However, these Democrats were joined by a number of leading Republicans, many whom opposed Donald Trump's candidacy from the beginning. Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, speaking at the Munich Security Conference, former presidential candidate and Senator for Arizona John McCain described the decision as unfortunate. Quote, end quote, unfortunate, yeah. He also said, quote, the president does have the constitutional authority, but I can't get help but think that this is not a good thing for America, end quote. He also said this scandal, he called it a scandal? Quote, this scandal is going to go on. I've seen it before. This is a centipede. I guarantee you there will be more shoes to drop. I can just guarantee it. There's just too much information that we don't have that will be coming out. End quote. Folks, with all the leaks coming from the White House, coming from Trump's people, coming from, well, if you don't know, I'm not going to point out anyone out, but I would say that you will start to hear about this in the next couple of days. So actually, as soon as he returns, I'm serious. There are so many leaks from the White House that everybody who's anybody has been writing articles about it. Now, Senator Ben Sasser, Republican from Nebraska, says, quote, regardless of how you think Director Comey handled the unprecedented complexities of the 2016 election cycle, the timing of this firing is terrible, end quote, Sass said in a statement. He also said, quote, Jim Comey is an honorable public servant, and in the midst of a crisis of public truth that goes well beyond who you voted for in the presidential election, the loss of an honorable public servant is a loss for the nation. As the chairman of the Judiciary Committee's Oversight Subcommittee, I have reached out to the Deputy Attorney General for clarity on the rationale for recommending this action, end quote. Folks, I wouldn't go as far as to call him a honorable public servant. This is a man that let radical Muslim terrorists make several attacks on U.S. soil. He was hired by Obama to do just stuff like that, to keep Hillary and Obama's nose clean, and whatever else kind of stuff that they may step in along the way. I mean, if you can't see that, then you need to go get your head checked, or your eyes, or something, because anybody can see that. I surely can. Now, Jeff Flake, he's a Republican from Arizona, senator. In a tweet following the firing, Jeff Flake said he had, quote, spent the last several hours trying to find an exceptional rationale for the timing of Comey's firing, end quote. He also said in the tweet, I just can't do it, end quote, he added. Whatever. This make y'all sick. If this don't make y'all sick, there ain't nothing will, man. This is a gag of maggot, okay? Republican Justin Amash, Republican from Michigan. Michigan Congressman Justin Amash went as far as calling for an independent commission to examine Donald Trump's alleged ties to Russia, claiming on Twitter that he and his staff are, quote, reviewing legislation to establish an independent commission on Russia, end quote. There's a tweet of that in this article, along with a link. While not never Trumpers, other Republicans also joined in their criticism. Senator Richard Burr, Republican of North Carolina. Senator Richard Burr, who serves as the Senate Intelligence Chairman, said in a statement that he was, quote, troubled by the timing and reasoning of Director Comey's termination, end quote. On Twitter, Burr praised Comey's leadership of the FBI, claiming that he had, quote, always been straightforward with our committee and more forthcoming with information than any FBI director I can recall in my tenure on the congressional intel, end quote. I wonder what he compares that to. I've actually done a little research into the FBI director before him, Robert Mueller. And as I mentioned in that James Comey episode, whichever one it was, as I suspected, that was the plan from the beginning. He was put into office just like 4 to 5 days before 9/11. So yeah, he went to great extent to cover up 9/11. They came out and told y'all that you can't sue the Saudis because the Saudis killed y'all's families. Which I don't know if there was Saudis that were actually responsible for it. There could have been remote controls for drones that look like commercial airliners. I don't know. I am somewhat of a conspiracy theorist, folks, but a lot of what happened on 9/11 can't be necessarily explained, but I can tell you this: there is a large money trail going in 3 to 4 directions, and that is pretty much enough to tell you who was responsible for the attacks. Bush was a main key factor in 9/11. You can believe that. They knew about 9/11, folks, years in advance. I guess 40 or 50 years in advance they'd been planning that. But no sooner than those airplanes hit those buildings, why, none of us ever imagined anybody hijacking any commercial airliners and flying them into buildings. None of us. No way. Who would have ever thought of that? Y'all just conspiracy theorists. Blah blah blah. Which I want to go into a little bit of depth with you. As soon as I find it, excuse me for hushing up for just a second. I was having to concentrate during that one. Okay. The definition that Google gives for conspiracy theory is a noun, conspiracy theory, plural noun, conspiracy theories, a belief that some covert but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or event. Let's look at dictionary.com and see what they say about these words. Noun, a theory that explains an event as being the result of a plot by a covert group or organization, a belief that a particular unexplained event was caused by such a group. The second definition, the idea that important political events or economic and social trends are products of secret plots that are largely unknown to the general public. I will tell you this about the word. But first, I want to hear what Wikipedia's got to say before I tell you what I know about it. Which anybody who's ever studied it very much should know enough about it. I will say that. And I hate having a show here where I come on here and give everybody a history lesson every time I pick up a mic, but this is important. I could talk about this stuff all day, really. Yeah, it's loaded up. A conspiracy theory is an explanation of an event or situation that invokes a conspiracy. Generally, one involving an illegal or harmful act out by government or other powerful actors. Conspiracy theories hypotheses that contradict the prevailing understanding of history, or simple term is a derogatory one. According to the political scientist Michael Barkun, conspiracy theories rely on the view that the universe is governed by design and embody three principles: nothing happened by accident, nothing is as it is, and everything is connected. Another common feature is that conspiracy theories evolve to incorporate whatever evidence exists against them so that they become as Barkun writes, a closed system that is unfalsifiable and therefore, quote, a matter of faith rather than proof, end quote. History. The Oxford English Dictionary defines conspiracy theory as the theory that an event or phenomenon occurs as a result of a conspiracy between interested parties, specific a belief that some covert but influential agency, typical political in motivation and oppressive in intent, is responsible for an unexplained event, and sees a 1909 article in the American Historical Review as the earliest usage example. As a neutral term, quote, conspiracy, end quote, is derived from the Latin word meaning with or together, and spirare, to breathe. According to John Otto's 20th century words, the phrase conspiracy theory was originally a neutral term and only acquired an pejorative connotation in the mid-60s, implying that the advocate of theory has a powerful tendency to imagine the influence of some powerful, miraculous, covert agency in events. According to Florida State University Professor Lance D. Haven Smith's 2013 book, Conspiracy Theory in America, the phrase conspiracy theory was deployed in the 1960s by the Central Intelligence Agency to discredit John F. Kennedy's assassination, referring to it as conspiracy theories. However, according to Robert Blaskowitz, assistant professor of critical thinking at Stockton University, and Skeptical advocates such claims have extended since at least 1997, but due to having recently been promoted by D. Haven Smith, quote, conspiracy theorists have begun citing this work as an authority, end quote. Baskowitz researched the usage of the term conspiracy theory and found it has always been a disparaging term, having been used to describe, quote, extreme hypothesis, end quote, and implausible speculation as long as 1870. But yeah, that's what I was going to tell you about the word conspiracy theory. It may have not been invented by the CIA, but it was definitely patented, if you will, by them in order to being able to discredit normal, ordinary citizens from becoming detectives, I guess, so to speak, but in a civilian way. Yeah. Folks, we're about out of time. I wanted to get to this article right here on Drudge. It also says terror strikes Manchester as well. So, I don't know where the Grande gig is. I have no idea if that is the same place or the same incident that we're talking about that took place in Manchester or not. I've actually clicked on the link here and I'm trying to get it to load up. "17 seconds to go in this show, folks. We'll cover this next time if we have time. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time."